Hi, welcome. I felt like doing another reading. I probably gear this one more towards the weekend since I've already done a weekly. So just again, stay open-minded to timing, what's past, passing, coming to be, and also context. What hasn't happened yet will probably seem unfamiliar. So just keep an open mind and always use your own logic, judgment, intuition when making decisions. Hopefully these messages will be like a jumping off point for you, or just sparks to point you in the right direction, or to bring clarity to whatever it is you're wondering about. This just flew out, 5 of Wands, but kind of went over that in the last reading, so if you're curious, you might want to go and listen to the midweek reading. Wow. Cards are just flying everywhere. This is 6 of Pentacles. You get what you give kind of thing. Blessings, abundance, just things that you've been needing, wanting, being given to you. So let's see. The highest and greatest good for the weekend, this coming weekend. What is to be known? Shuffling. This is the 7 of Wands. This is standing your ground, having the higher ground. Standing up for what you believe in, fighting them off with a stick. I always say. In the Fire playlist is Kendrick Lamar's "Humble," so it's kind of like, telling someone to just sit down and be humble, or again, sort of stand your ground and have the higher ground. So where do you have the higher ground? Maybe this week you're going to have a lot of I just wanted to say suitors, so that's weird. Maybe you'll have some callers. Wow, I don't know where these terms are coming from. People wanting to go out with you. Maybe you'll have a lot of options. You'll have to sort of fight them off with a stick. Let's see. 7 is a spiritual number, so also just sort of using your gut instincts, your intuition, to help you, have the higher ground, to help you sort of maneuver. It's like saying that even though there's some fight going on or some sort of situation going on, you are above all of them. So maybe something like that. I don't know. Let's see what else. What else is to be known for highest and greatest good for the weekend? It's the 8 of Swords. Again, always reference the playlist for these cards unless something else comes through. I'll just put those links below and you can find them. But this is sort of being stuck in your head or having a lot of thoughts surrounding you. A lot of input maybe. Just feeling surrounded, stuck in your head. But you could easily get free. You could easily wiggle your way out and remove yourself from the situation. So is there a place in your life that you need to do that? Or could you do that somewhere? Where do you feel like you're tied up or, sort of lost in your head, unable to move forward? Because swords do talk about your thoughts and, mental activity, speech, communication. So maybe you feel stuck. Maybe communication will be an issue this weekend or something. Always, look at things both ways. So reverse can mean coming out of a situation like this where you feel like you don't have the right words or you don't know what to say, you feel stuck, but nothing's touching her, like she could easily leave. So that's the point of this card, is to say to, remove yourself if you need to. I have no doubts, don't speak there, because I also think of this as sometimes like telepathy and telepathic, like communication, psychic. Sometimes I think of swords as like psychic levels, sort of, just sort of, improving your psychic gifts. We're all psychic, so it's just about tapping into that. 7, 8, we have a progression going on. So let's see, what else? for the weekend. What else needs to be known? It's the Hierophant. I always think of Vogue when I see this card, or just some sort of like large company, like Condé Nast, or just a large company organization. Church, sometimes maybe going to church. Third day is Sunday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday so far, so maybe going to church, or like seeking out some sort of guidance, counseling, something like that, from someone who knows what's going on, has a unbiased opinion, that kind of thing. So maybe if you were in a fight and you feel stuck in your relationship, then maybe you're going to get counseling or something, or going to the hospital or something like that. Let's see what's here. Altogether, they add up to be an 11, so that's a gateway. It's you choosing to step through some sort of door. It's like, do you choose to go if you need to get help, counseling, advice, therapy, whatever it is, like you walking through that door. But it can also mean like an opportunity, something coming maybe from some sort of organization. You've maybe felt stuck, like you've had to like fight people off, fight for your rights to party, fight for something, maybe fight people off your, for your ideas, that kind of thing. Wands and swords I often think of as ideas. Wands being more like your beliefs too. So standing up for your beliefs, what you think, what you know. I mean, really, as long as it's not hurting someone else, everyone has the right to have any sort of beliefs they want. Because it should be something that connects with you, and something that you have experienced and internalized and understand for yourself. Not what other people teach you, not what your family brought you up to be, what schools, taught you, what your church has taught you. I mean, they're all great and all that, but it's deciding for yourself what you believe. It's knowing for yourself what you believe. I mean, if you don't question anything ever, you're just being pretty ignorant and not, you don't question things, and not just question things, but seek out answers, research, dive in. If you don't do that, then it's kind of like, I don't know, you're just going along with whatever people have told you, and why are they right, It's just it goes on and on, so it's important for people to know what they believe and why they believe it. I feel like I have to experience something in order to really know it to be true. Because otherwise I'm completely skeptical of everything. So, where do you need to do that? Where do you need to ask questions? Where do you need to find out more? How can you find out more? What do you need to look into? Where do you need to stand up for yourself? So you don't feel trapped. So you don't feel like some sort of I want to say overlord or something. I don't even know where that came from. But 5 is a change, so maybe changing how you think, changing your position, your stance on something, unlocking the door, stepping out of the situation, stepping out of your mind, getting a second opinion, seeking out advice, maybe? I don't know. Queen of Wands. It's the 7 of Pentacles. So it's just, taking your time with something, looking over something, watching over something. Really, though, waiting on the harvest kind of thing. Planting good seeds to begin with, making sure you take all the necessary steps and all of that. So, but it's Earth, so it's, taking your time, a slow approach, waiting for things to ripen. Again, another 7. It just basically talks about time, and are you wasting your time? Is something really worth it to you? So it can go both ways. I mean, you are wasting your time, or you're not. It's just taking longer than you thought, maybe, or just something is worth waiting for, or however you view it, but yeah, you can see what stands out to you. Again, thinking things over, really questioning things, wondering about things, wondering what you've built up, wondering what you're growing. What are you? I mean, this card, like, one of the catchphrases for this card is what are you cultivating? So, like, what are you cultivating in your life? What are you developing, growing, enhancing, waiting on, planting seeds now for? What are you hoping will happen? What are you cultivating? You know, growth, hopefully. Yeah, so, and Earth really is like, you know, anything having to do with life. I mean, swords, your thoughts, emotions, cups, wands, beliefs, ideas. So it's all very, like, abstract. But Earth is like your life. It's anything having to do with life. So just the things that are actually, like, tangible realities. So where in your life do you need to spend more time, think about things, look things over, start planting seeds now for whatever it is you're doing? Because people are outside gardening right now, so I feel like, I don't know. Just waiting, though, waiting on things to come about. Waiting for things for your efforts to pay off, for things to come through for you, for something to become, yeah, just like the time it takes for something to work. Let's see. Anything else from this deck for the weekend? Maybe getting out, doing some gardening this weekend, or, you know, spending some time outside, garden, waiting for something, waiting for a change, you know, maybe from, like, a higher up, like, after the whole week, you know, just 7 days, weekly, waiting for a change, waiting to hear news from some sort of organization or something like that. I feel like there's just this, like, angles, you know. I don't know if that means anything structured. I think you could mean, like, the museum, going to the museum. Anything that is, like, I don't know, just a large sort of institution, church, work, organization, meeting, museum, gallery. I don't know. That's funny. Actually, talking about museums, I don't know if anyone's ever heard of this, but there's in Croatia there is sounds so weird, a bad relationship museum. Like, and it's a huge deal. Like, people really like it and, like, travel for it. And it's, like, a really big museum. From the Museum of Broken Relationships. It's so weird. Bad memory eraser, but it's just bizarre. I guess someone just decided to start a museum that, like, focuses all around, like, old letters, things that have to do with, like, bad relationships. I don't know. It's, you know, maybe getting an idea like that sounds super weird and random, but, like, takes off, you know, is unique and one of a kind, and I don't know. So, let's see. Anything else from this deck? The Lovers. So this can mean, like, a separation. I don't know why I said that. Usually, like, it means, like, a coming together. They are separate here. So you're separate, you know, separated from someone that you care about. Can be making a choice between between two things, between lovers, or just very simply getting together with your partner in a relationship, whoever you're in a relationship with, dating, whatever. Just, admiring someone too, I think of 5, 6, 7, 7. Blessings, I think, being poured down on you, and maybe a relationship. Getting lucky. Just whatever it means to you. Lovers, it's like maybe a choice, again, like between belief systems, between things. Having the key, though. Just not knowing exactly where the lock is, maybe. Knowing that you have something of substantial, value to, I want to say, bring to the table, or, that would help you understand something better, that help you make the choice, but you just have to, know all the facts or something, if that makes sense. Yeah, maybe just, again, spending time outside. I think of that song, Ain't No Mountain High Enough, because there's a mountain between them. Again, I think someone just, admiring you, just, it's, translating, they both have their arms out, the Hierophant, the Lovers, 2 major arcanas. The reason I have the music video that I have in the Lovers place is, because it can be separate. And I kind of thought of hunters and gatherers, that age, the evolution, there's some monkeys in there, just, some simple things that can remind you of certain periods, but I don't know what that is. Yeah, a big drapey sort of top. Translator, I've said this before, she looks like she's looking up for answers to this person, and he looks like he's looking at her, it's going through her, and that's one of the meanings of the Hierophant, translating the word of God to the masses, the public. So, it's both very spiritual, it just mean getting married, that kind of thing, lovers going to the church to get married. Maybe you're getting married this weekend. Eden, so where's your little slice of heaven that you can find this weekend and maybe gain some clarity or understanding, some guidance, I don't know. Again, her wings are just really calling to me. I think I said that in the other reading, with the Temperance card, just how lush they look, and how just the ombre kind of effect. It's kind of cool. Just had fake eyelashes for some reason. Something on fire, it's a song on fire. I don't know. And feminine though too, just spending some time maybe with your partner. Lilies being masculine, roses feminine. Again, maybe gardening in the garden of Eden. There we go, gardening. I don't know. Let's see. Advice. 2 of Wands again, looking out over something, watching over something. Very similar, I feel to the 7 of Earth, watching over something, having gaining perspective, looking over something. It's a lot of that. So maybe just like really taking a break and like looking things over, and you know, for the video that I have in this spot, I thought of it more in the context of the globe, the lyrics, at least the chorus part. But and again, the roses and the lilies there. So choosing a direction between two things, between two people. Like a hair. Eyelash. Yeah, I feel like between two people, between two things, between two ideas. Maybe again, like you can talk about like a relationship or partnership too, but also choice. Choice over your beliefs, choice over your ideas. A guide, guiding your way, making your way. Holding the world in your hands, holding something that you really value in your hands, taking care of it, watching over it, like the watchers. Sometimes I think that like certain people are, you know, here on Earth amongst us, watchers, you know. So, what do you need to look over? What do you need to, have some sort of higher vantage point? Looking out into the future, trying to figure out which way to go, gaining some perspective. If you need to talk to someone or pray, or like, you know, but again, maybe just like getting out into nature and enjoying just the earth, you know, like, I don't know, taking care of the earth, gardening, wherever you need guidance, I think. Who can you talk to? You need guidance from who will give you really like unbiased good advice. Can you give yourself that, you know, like, can you ask yourself questions and really be honest with the answers? Can you really take a, you know, detached approach in a way to figure out what is best for you, what really calls you, what is really important to you if you're making a choice? Can you picture yourself in the future, like, and how that would, you know, each choice make you feel? Would one make you want to, I don't know, I feel like it's just like what really matters to you when it comes to picking a direction, what really, I mean, sometimes I also think of this as the globe as like your phone, you know, holding the World Wide Web. So maybe again, looking things up, looking up information, looking up places to go, looking up, reviews maybe, whatever it is to help you make a more informed decision. But I feel like half might be like having to do with like a choice of, you know, just more, I don't know, places to go, things like that, and others are having to decide or think about relationship, maybe take care of the relationship or look out for the relationship, or like you're looking out for someone, maybe someone's best interest. I almost want to say protection, like just, I don't know. But like I kind of notice how he's holding on to the stick that like can't go anywhere, you know, that is stuck in this concrete. It's maybe seems more stable, I guess. The other one though looks like it could be removed. He's not really paying attention to it. Like that one is what's portable. It's actually longer. It's not cut in half. You know, it's not as, I don't know. Maybe making sure that you give both parties or both people, both choices, both whatever it is, like fair go, you know, like not again being kind of biased or going with whatever is familiar, whatever seems more stable, when in reality it's, you know, half of what you could have, you know, and half of what you could do with, you know, what you have. So, like, 'cause you could remove that other one and take it with you. You know, you wouldn't have to leave something behind. You could just, like, go with you on your journey. It could accompany you. The same height. You know, 'cause that one's taller, but, like, I don't know, you still can't take it with you. So, yeah. Picturing your life, picturing things, imagining. Because, I mean, if you don't give everything a fair chance, how could you really make an informed decision? You know, if you're only going with whatever's familiar, it's like half a decision. It's like half, I don't know, it's just like, it's pretty, kind of like with what I was talking about earlier, like not having all the information, like just going with whatever people tell you, whatever you've learned, whatever you've been brought up to believe, and just, you know, needing to maybe make a choice, change your mind about something, stand up for someone, something. It's Three of Cups. So water, feminine energy, a lot of like, could be three friends coming together, having like after work drinks, something like that, or, you know, weekend drinks, just celebration party, fun, you know, good times, laughter. Just, it doesn't have to be like a lot of emotion, because just talk about like friendship, emotion, and just feeling good out with your friends, that kind of thing. Celebrating something, cheersing something. One of them almost looks like she's like crossing her fingers behind her back, so maybe making sure that everyone is like, I don't know, not holding out or something, or like, you know, not, I don't know whatever that means to you. It could be like, it doesn't have to just be three women. It can be a larger group. It can be, you know, mixed bag of people, or it could be like, you know, anyone in your life with a lot of maybe feminine energy, like sisters, maybe three sisters, three something though. Two becomes three, you know, making a choice, going with that, and gaining from it, having something to celebrate. But again, not ignoring. I just feel like he's like ignoring this over here. Like he's so focused on this, he thinks that's all he wants, you know, like he hasn't even explored this other option. And maybe because of that he's stuck, or someone else is stuck, and he's just sort of like fighting someone off, but like maybe he doesn't need to. Maybe like looking to your future, wondering like who you could marry. I don't know. It's a lot of like choice and like celebration and like Nine of Swords, and maybe being up all night with your thoughts, not knowing what to choose, just really being overwhelmed, like having too many options or too many possibilities between two options, like just going back and forth over things, you know, just really not being able to make up your mind. But I feel like, I mean, we can never fully know, you know, the future and what is totally best for us. Otherwise, we would always go with that option, right? Like, we make the most informed decisions that we can, the best decisions that we can with the information that we have in the moment, you know. And all we can do is kind of try to picture, you know, just different ways things could go. But really, without all the information, without all the facts, like, you can't really make some sort of, like, really determined or like intellectual like choice, you know, like you kind of just have to go with whatever calls your heart, I guess, whatever really you feel strongly about, whatever you feel is like your, I don't know, your other half or something, like reflection of you, like whoever sees you sees like good and bad, all of that. I don't know. Again, like falling leaves. Maybe going back to the start, going back to the beginning, starting over with something. The beginning of the weekend. This is the moon, 18. So maybe the moon is important. Maybe Pisces or any water sign. 18. It's about using your intuition, though, illuminating what's in the shadows, illuminating what is hidden from you, even like your subconscious too. What are you like? You're using your intuition, really tapping into that to really figure out which way to go. Start out on your little journey for the weekend, maybe, maybe traveling. You have ways to go. I just think of like the never-ending story. It's kind of what this is. I feel like never-ending story. My little story within a story movie narrative odyssey, turning into the playlist and then keeping these going. So I always think of a never-ending story with the two when he has to like risk, you know, running through. I forget what they're called, but you know, to get to the other side. Or sun, moon, you know, your midpoints, meeting halfway. Asking someone to meet you halfway, to see you halfway. Like, again, kind of give and take too. Like, not just on a physical level, like meeting someone out like halfway, but like really meeting someone halfway with what you give and what you need and what you want, and them feeling the same way, and like, you know, just an equal exchange. The beginning, starting with water, though, you know, this is where it all starts here. So really feeling your way, you know, maybe not even going with the most, like, I don't know, like, obvious choice, again, you know, the two here, but really just what speaks to your heart, what speaks to your emotions, what could you, like, what could take you somewhere new, what could teach you something, what could enlighten you, what could bring maybe like romance or anything like moon related into your life. It can mean just that night too, you know, like something happening at night, but I just feel like, yeah, it's like who, maybe that's what it comes down to, like who will take you somewhere new, mentally, physically, emotionally, like who will bring you somewhere new, point you at least in the right direction, point you in a new direction, you know? What could? Finding those things, or finding that person, like going on an adventure together, starting over, starting from the beginning, and finding your way, maybe with someone, or between, and finding the clear way through, I think, too, you know, finding the clear way through between two options. So how can you do that? Can you combine two things? Or is it between two people? Like, I don't want to say like easiest thing, because I don't think, you know, relationships are like never easy. You know, it's, you shouldn't base things off that. But like, I don't know what I'm trying to say, but looking for maybe you need to stand up for yourself. Because reverse, this can be like cliques and gossip and that kind of thing. And catty, you know, people that have nothing better to do than go out and party and talk over each other and like be loud and obnoxious. I feel like, you know, just, I feel like a young kind of energy, like yeah, let's party, like that kind of stuff. Upright, just, enjoying your time with your friends, quality time, I think, too. But if you need to stand up for yourself or someone against, maybe some gossip, slander, trash talk, bullies even, like, just people with nothing better to do than talk about other people and, people with half a mind, basically. Half a mind, there you go. Yeah. I think a lot of questioning and a lot of, like, beginnings and a lot of choice. Ten of Cups. Gone over what this means, so... But this is like, whatever you choose is going to lead probably to this. I mean, or this is the outcome you're hoping for, from this choice. This kind of happy family. Not just letting this be a dream, but like really making it a reality. Seeing beyond the facade, if it's reversed, seeing beyond the, fake, like, facade, the things... Anything can be a facade, clothes, all of that, like, just the fake outside appearances of things that, like, I don't know, people can seem a lot better than they really are. If you could, like, you'd strip all that away, all the makeup, hair, clothing, everything that, that they've, what would be left, Probably not much. Maybe you just want someone by your side, and this is what you're hoping for, and you're trying to see beyond the facade, you're trying to illuminate, you're trying to not be deceived or go down the wrong path, you're trying to just figure out how you can attain this, how can you get there. It could very just simply mean like spending time outside with your family, friends, picnics, things like that. It's 10 though, it's a tweener, so it's, something coming to an end and starting over. End of a cycle, the end of something, maybe the end of the weekend, feeling really good, happy, like looking up, like things are looking up. By your side, having someone you can count on. I mean, again, I did mention like masculine, feminine too, and it's just a lot of partnership, a lot of like, the emotion too, in the sky, playfulness, arches, rainbow, like promises, making promise to someone, keeping your promises. Just, seeing, I guess, I feel like just seeing what really matters to you and what really matters in the long run, and what will bring, even more. And going from the Three of Cups to the 10 of Cups, like what can be multiplied, what has such potential that it can end up being the 10 of Cups, what has, a lot of potential, what has, I want to say your name written on it, or, like, some people I feel like see this like outside facade of others and the clothing, it's just all of everything, and that people use to hide what may be ugly on the inside, and it all looks so great, this whole lifestyle, all of it, but this is as far as it can go, this is all they have to bring to the table, this is all they have to offer, like, that's as much as they got, like, it's good, but, you kind of peaked, that's it, that's all, how are you going to make this lasting? So going with a choice that can be lasting, that has the potential to be lasting, that brings emotional fulfillment, that, blue skies, makes you want to like raise your hands and just be like thankful for all the things that you have and people in your life. And I feel like simple pleasures too, you know. Again, getting out into nature, just enjoying your time with someone. Again, maybe celebrating something. We have the Three of Cups and the Ten of Cups, so maybe there's some sort of family celebration, barbecue, that kind of thing. Maybe you could invite someone, or, you know, reach out, or like, yeah, this can sometimes mean reaching out to someone. So maybe you can reach out to someone who may or may not have, you know, family and all that to spend time with. I feel like it's just embracing love, embracing people, embracing the day, embracing everything that like could come, embracing the emotion, embracing someone, embracing the experience. How can you do that? You know, How can you make the experience even better? How can you make it even more lasting? So that's all we have, you know, at the end of the day. Experience, the things, the memories. So how can you make some good memories this weekend? How can, in weekend, you know, 2 days, how can, you can make some really good memories this weekend? Make that your, like, focus, you know. Make it conscious choice. Queen of Wands wanted to come out earlier, and again, so maybe the Queen of Wands, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, a person, or just being creative with what you're planning or what you're doing. High Priestess, which is number 2 again. So I also think of like 11 too, you know, just that's again why I have 29. My playlist goes to 29, which adds up to being 11 or 2, you know, because I had to start at 0, so to try to like make things even out and work like throughout, I kind of had to skip a few numbers there. So I kind of set it up for what I have there: Daft Punk 2 and Love 3, like in between. High Priestess being in between that, like both of them being sort of like, both videos being sort of half and half, you know, between 2, she's there, that's the mystery, but she sits in front of the veil, you know, she guards all the secrets, everything that's hidden from us, things that we don't know. So, but going the other way, 29 being a 2, you could start at 1 and go to 29, that's, you know, so playing the role as the High Priestess, looking beyond the veil. Veil for me, I always think of as the computer screen or your phone screen. Technological veil, because you can talk about technology and you know, science and just mysteries of life. Everything beyond that is what we don't know. And she has her little Torah in a book. It says Torah, pomegranates, and just talks about growth and feminine energy. The moon there, crescent moon, and the first. I mean, she's the first feminine energy. She's the first woman, sort of. I mean, I think of Empress more as like physical reality woman, but like she's, she could be, I mean, like represented Pisces, any water sign, Scorpio, Cancer, I always think of between beginning and end is the key to all that's ever been. And that's just a little home saying that I made up. And she being, you know, she having the key, she knowing the answers, she's, you know, between beginning and end. She's a little bit mysterious, she's a little hard to explain, so, but that's what makes her mysterious and interesting, and she's knowledge, you know, knowledge of this world, knowledge of other realms, knowledge of some mysteries, guardian, gateway. She's like wearing the same sort of wrap thing. Yeah, it's like who in your life has a lot of wisdom too, a lot of maybe even secrets too. It can be like keeping a secret for someone, secretive information, holding back a little bit, being a little bit reserved. Again, even with like her dress is a little bit transparent. You can see the cross beneath it. Like everything's just not visible. Not all the facts are there. So how can you make the most informed decision? Can you go and talk to her and like get more information? You know, maybe this is her. Like, this is kind of, I don't know, her persona. I don't know. However you look at it, it could be both, just different facets within the same person. So again, just like kind of looking things up, looking into something more, diving deeper, giving the unfamiliar a chance. You know, it's unfamiliar. Sometimes it's a little uncomfortable, but what's the point of always being comfortable? It seems boring. And I feel like, I don't know, why do you want your life to be boring? Comfortable or familiar sometimes, you know, is nice, but life's always changing anyway, so you might as well seek out change and seek out information and seek out knowledge and therefore like be ahead of the curve, ahead of the change, you know? There you go, that's one secret of how to predict the future. Always be looking up information, always be taking in new knowledge, what really calls you, what really speaks to you. Being an expert in that field, like really diving into it, going in a lot of different directions here. So I hope some of what, I don't even remember what I said, so I hope some of it makes sense to you. Anyways, I'll move on to this step. Chariots on the bottom again. Do not go where the path may lead. Go instead where there is no path and leave a trail. There you go, Spirit of Grace. This is the Art of Life Tarot. Pull a couple from here. See what else needs to be known for. Four of Wands. Don't judge each day by the harvest you reap. There you go, harvest, like I said before, but by the seeds that you plant. So, planting good seeds, you know? I'm trying to not get a glare. Red Vineyards at Aries by Vincent van Gogh, 1888. Pushkin Museum, Moscow, Russia. Well, if you're wondering, maybe something having to do with Russia this weekend. Four of Wands, though, things coming together, two opposites coming together. Four of Wands, like, things are coming together, like, laying the groundwork, foundation for good future, stable, sturdy, you know, four corners, four being stability. But, you know, like, you should always try to make your own association so you know what things, like, mean to you, you know, since these are general readings and they can apply in a variety of ways. And for me, I associate that with, since I'm a fire sign and have my sun at 4 degrees, that's usually what when this card comes up, I think of, like, something affecting my, like, sun sign, or that playing a major role, like being yourself, you know, and usually it's like coming together of two opposites, masculine, feminine, water and fire, you know, whatever you associate opposites with. And so then this would make sense for me as well, you know, Queen of Fire in the 5th house, Leo, Sagittarius, and Scorpio, or water sign, that I feel like, because I have overlap between Scorpio and Sagittarius, a lot of, fire and water, just sort of mixing and merging, always confusing, things like that, but just two very dominant, like, you know, influential sort of characteristic traits. Again, gardening, seeds, planting, not judging each day by the harvest you reap, but by the seeds you plant. Yeah, anything good takes a long time to develop, to grow, to come to life, you know. Anything overnight is probably, again, like the easy, familiar, like overnight success, like never really lasting. What is lasting to you? You know, where are you planting seeds that are lasting? Can you do that more? If there's slow progress, not judging that, not being frustrated with it, like, you know, especially with knowledge and information, like, things come slowly. Even if we feel like we could handle more and wanting all the answers at the same time, like, usually it's better to kind of understand things in a slower rate. You know, taking your time with something so you really fully realize it, fully understand it, fully embrace it. So 4 of Wands. So again, fire. Maybe again, starting the foundation of something. Stage. Usually think of a stage with that typical imagery, you know, you're on a stage with 4 spokes, or 4 bloodlines, you know, and I think of like 2 people coming together, and mom and dad, 4 bloodlines, the founding of something. So I also associate with that card a lot with myself. 4, 4, 4. Just because my family goes way back here in America, helped foundings, Pennsylvania or something. So 1600s actually. 4 times 4 is 16. So yeah. But yeah, like a stage, a performance. Maybe you're going to performance or going out to the theater. I also kind of think of I have I'm completely blanking on right now. Louis Del Mar. And if you didn't catch all the names, you know, Del Mar, Del Rey, and all the playlists, you know, sun, moon, water, fire. You didn't catch that. Pay attention to the names too. Frank Ocean. But I lose Del Mar 28, I think, and yeah, right before me. And there's a lot of reasons I picked that. It talks about painting over, landlord kicking you out and painting over, which I actually have a picture on my Instagram when I was kicked out of my apartment. Long story, but shitty landlord. That crook owned a lot of different properties all over Brooklyn and somewhere in the city. Just under all these different, like, Brooklyn Entertainment, Brooklyn Theatrics, Brooklyn, you know, like, that's how we figured it out. His buildings were in foreclosure. He was trying to kick everyone out to, like, turn his buildings into, like, an Airbnb, which is illegal for landlords to do because it's an illegal hotel. Anyways, total tangent, side note. Yeah, so when he was like, sure, I want to start a lease with him. He's like, yeah, sure, just put 10 grand in the mail by the end of the week and we'll send you a lease. I'm like, well, obviously I'm not going to just put 10 grand in the mail before I see a lease, especially. Like, are you kidding? And so when I asked to see a lease, he's like, oh, you're asking too many questions. It's so funny. It just reminds me so much, like, in a totally different context, but my life sort of, like, precedes everything that's happening in politics. So, like, Trump, hotels, landlords, I don't know, just however you see it. But, like, in that video, and I did, so I was so mad that he was kicking me out over, you know, I had made the place nicer, or I wanted to get good people in there, I wanted to, you know, get on a lease and just everything. So I was really mad that he was, like, still making me go. So I just painted, like, birds shitting all over the wall, and it was really pretty, like, big mural type thing. I'm a shit gift or a shit landlord. And it was really colorful, and but that's what I associate with that video. It's one of the reasons I picked it for myself. The landlord kick you out. It also says CC, so CC, and just painting your own masterpiece. How can you paint your own masterpiece? I think of, masterpiece. What is a masterpiece to you? It doesn't have to be just a painting. It can be anything, Can you start on your masterpiece this weekend, Start building something, start something from the ground up and see where it leads you. Like Odyssey, that being a masterpiece for myself, or at least I consider it to be, with all the connections. And it's a big connective play with little vignettes and different scenes, and which I also think of this play that I was in growing up called The Quilt, having to do with the AIDS Memorial Quilt. And there are a bunch of just different scenes and, vignette kind of things. But I really didn't set out to do this at all, So just being open to whatever could come in as an idea of a new direction to go in, something that may take some time and effort, but, planting good seeds to begin with, starting your masterpiece. But yeah, that, again, throughout the Odyssey, everything's kind of on a stage. Take that how you will, but at the end it kind of falls apart, and is that if you're not watching all the videos to the very end, you definitely should, especially that video. So it has a rubber band at the end. It's kind of like, I think, a rubber band, things bouncing back and forth, time bouncing back, going either way, things, infinity, loop, rubber band, the continuity, the cyclical nature of time, continuing on. But yeah, so where's your stage? Where are you performing? Can you bring it to life more? Can you breathe more life into it? Because another 4 popped up, which is this: my sun sets to rise again. Elizabeth Barrett Browning, end of day. So at the end of the day, what is important to you? It's a guy going across the field, reining in his flock. I don't know if he feels like he's just been doing this for years. Is it what he wanted to do? Is it not? Like, I think of The Alchemist, that book. You really could love what you're doing, and it could just being a shepherd. Like, who cares if you love it? Like, at the end of the day, you have to love it. You have to. It doesn't have to make sense to anyone else. You can try to explain things like I'm trying right now, but like at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. If people can't get it, then it's not for them. It's for you. It's so that you feel like you've made a contribution somewhere, somehow. You've added your own spark. You've added your own bit of creativity to the world. You've made a connection that only you could have made. Like put something together that means something to you. That being your masterpiece. So again, 4 swords, thinking about resting, giving something a break. At the end of the day, what matters to you? Because the other one that popped out is death. This is Death and Life by Gustav Klimt, 1911. Another 11. It says, death twitches in my ear. Live, he says, I am coming. Virgil. So, living every day to the fullest. I feel like that's kind of what this is also, living each day to the fullest. Trying to make the most of what you have to work with and people in your life and situations, circumstances, experiences. Like really just, living. Not wasting time. Death twitches in my ear. Live, he says, I am coming. So, I don't want to scare anyone. Like, I'm not saying anyone's going to die, but this is the death card, so, I feel like it's talking more about a metaphoric death, just a death in the way that you see things, a death in the way that maybe you approach things, maybe even someone, changing your mind. This talks about change and regeneration, and so maybe bringing something back to life, bringing back an old idea that maybe you had a while ago that you never really pushed forward or developed further. Can you, what is that to you? Can you do that? Can you start that again? See if, there's more to it. Regeneration, bringing something back to life. Maybe just needing to rest so you feel regenerated, feel better, feel energy-wise, all that. It looks like they're in a quilt. It's funny. Or clothing, at least, like patchwork. Maybe you're taking up a new craft, like quilting, knitting, something like that. Working that in. Lots of crosses, lots of... This is a scary card, though. I don't like this card. Again, always reference all of the playlists and know what they mean, so that when cards come up, you know, I kind of have a even better idea of how I've set those up. The Empress is at the bottom. So this is only passions, great passions, can elevate the soul to great things. Then is Diderot, St. Catherine of Alexandria by Raphael, 1508, National Gallery, London, UK. 1508 is actually the year that the Leda was painted, I found out, because when I got this card before, I'm like, oh, it sounds, that year stands out to me for some reason. The Leda is something I've talked a lot about by Da Vinci. That was the year it was painted, 1508. It's having, like, you know, the grace and love, again. What is it that you love? What is it that brings that sense of, like, excitement? And even, like, it can be anything. It doesn't have to be a person. It can be, like, a sense of giddiness about what it is you're doing. You know, you're excited to get started. You're excited to embark on that journey. You're excited to begin something, bring something back to life, bring something back into your life. You know, take up a hobby that you used to do. Whatever it is to you. Yeah. Maybe it is the Empress, maybe it is someone in your life, and they just represent, like, beauty and grace and, like, harmony and just all these kinds of things, just maybe even unconventional beauty, just the Renaissance, or what's not as beautiful. I want to say, like, what's the first thing that comes to your mind when you think of something that's not beautiful, but it could be beautiful? Made into something beautiful. Yeah, so just, I don't know. Empress 3. Again, 3 of Cups came up earlier, so maybe, again, a lot of feminine energy. And this, I did mention in my other video, the High Priestess for the weekly, High Priestess and Empress. So relating to potentially, like, the First Lady. Okay, but could point people in the right direction. Pull one from the Winged Enchantment Oracle for encouragement. 32 Sparrow. That was on the bottom. Shuffle a little better. For the weekend. What is tomorrow? I came out for the weekly Loon, so these cards are, like, really hard for me to shuffle. Waxwing, 37. Blackbird is on the bottom. That came up for the Virgo bonus reading. Let's see, this is 37. Waxwing. I am waxwing, the balancing of give and take. I am what you reveal and what you hide behind. I am intoxicated with the sweetness of life. I am a ritual of ceremonial giving. I am courtesy and the generosity of sharing the good life. That's one of the songs I play. I am the importance of knowing what roles you play. Be aware of what you are presenting. Be mindful of the masks you live by. I am the wisdom of to shape and shatter facades. I'm the abundance of heart to present my joy to others. There's a great strength in letting the world know who you are. You are reciprocity. I can say that word. Say it 10 times fast. Reciprocity. You're joyful indulgence. You are unmasked. You are waxwing. So again, like, removing the facade, seeing beyond. You know, sometimes we so much, like, idealize people, and we just get into our heads of the greatest thing. Especially, like, if you're one of those people that, like, tend to like the competition or the chase or something like that. sometimes that's all it is, you know, and that's all people have to offer, you know, is the chase, because there's nothing else there. Pretty average, boring otherwise. So, looking beyond that, seeing, you know, what really matters. This guy, 37 again, reduces down to 1. So taking off the mask and just seeing things for what they are, revealing yourself, revealing things to someone else, revealing the truth. Think of like Wax Taylor too, and Birds Flying High, and cover Nina Simone's song. So, Fox maybe too. Being sly, being cunning, trying to, you know, keep things like pretty quiet, unless like, you know, letting people figure things out for themselves, and like stepping in if you have to, like, I don't know, if it's not really getting across or something. He also has like a lot of tattoos on him, which are kind of cool, like, again, like leaves falling, you can see that on his arm. The birds. But being connected to your environment too, feeling like a deep-rooted connection to others and to your environment. So, I mean, some people may need to like cut the roots, cut the ties, maybe not fully, but just, you know, certain areas, or, you know, just embrace that more, you know, and just use that connection to your advantage to, like, you know, ask for advice or whatever it is you're wondering about, those closest to you. But this reduces down to 1, so does you, and it's how you feel on this, maybe removing the mask, just letting people see things for what they are, and you for who you are, exposing something. Making an effort, you know. So, and then I thought I'd pull an Oracle card. Oracle of Visions by Cyril Machete. Maybe I'll read that one. I don't know if that was meant to come out. Let's see. Sum up this reading for the weekend. 50. Breaking out of your glass bubble. Little Mermaid. Hybrids. You know, Little Mermaid being half human, half mermaid. I think of Sagittarius and the Cantor, and they're, you know, half human, half Cantor, deer or something, whatever they're, horse, I don't know, some sort of change, you know, change in getting out of the bubble, you know. Alright, this one, 46, and all the puzzle pieces, but, you know, putting the puzzle pieces together. Everything's a big puzzle. How can you make sense of it? I'll read both. Curiosity, comparisons, dissatisfaction. One of the most tragic things I know about human nature is that all of us tend to put off living. There, it's like that death card. We are all dreaming of some magical rose garden over the horizon instead of enjoying the roses that are blooming outside our windows today. Dale Carnegie. We are driven at first by curiosity, and then by dissatisfaction to consider alternatives to present our circumstances. The grass appears to be greener on the other side of the fence, or so we believe, and so it is with the visual take on the tale of the Little Mermaid. The glass sphere provides her with a means of briefly experiencing another world. Which I also think of the, you know, at the end of Triton, and like the rainbow and the promise, you know, like Neptune too, and underwater worlds and mysteries of what's beneath the surface. The glass sphere provides her with the means of briefly experiencing another world, and much like a vacation away from home, or a brief foray into a different lifestyle, the experience can prove to be intoxicating. It may turn out to be something that leaves us discontent, or it may provide the impetus to move on and make such changes permanent. We should be wary and consider carefully whether we would truly belong in this new environment. We should try to judge it for what it would be in reality. The attraction and appeal of those brief encounters may not survive a lengthier commitment. So yeah, really feeling things out. Attraction and appeal of like, initial, again, seeing beyond the facade, seeing beyond the surface, attraction, appeal of initial, person that you meet out this weekend. Use good judgment, I guess. Just people present their best selves, first impressions, and especially if they play games and that kind of thing, like, just seeing beyond it, like, seeing it for what it is. 17 is equality. When losing balance in a pose, I stretch higher and God reaches down to study me. It works every time and not just in yoga. Terry Metz. Despite our differences, by changing our position, stance, or direction, we may find a common ground and jointly interact. This process is made easier when both sides participate in unison. Again, that sort of give and take. The jester performs his dance. Strength and motion combine, and in one instance, he remains frozen in perfect pose. In his hand, he balances two masks of opposing shapes. Despite their fundamental differences, his dancing forms position. Wow, I can't say this sentence. Despite their fundamental differences, his dancing form positions them so their opposites are transformed, and their shapes now morph to one of complementary yin and yang harmony. Balance by default requires equality of purpose, position, and desire. Both sides of a pivotal point must consider the position of another. If one side fails to cooperate, balance is lost. So again, opposites combining, coming together. I think of the Four of Swords, fire and water. The moon came up with the, I was in the eclipse, sun and moon. Maybe midpoints, or maybe just partner signs, opposites. Scorpio came up last night when I was doing a reading. Moon and Scorpio, so the opposite would be Taurus. I don't know, like, just however it works out for you, but I don't know. So, yeah, if I